Good afternoon. Painting some blue flowers today. Not quite sure what this is going to end up looking like. Mostly just inspired by color today. So I want to have these three main florals and a few accent flowers. I'm thinking like a very light creamy color daisy, maybe some gray in there. So I'm going to mix that up. Start with a yellowish center. I'll put them in here. And depending on the size of this, I think I'll safely put one here. Maybe another one. My favorite white floral is just a very diluted blue-gray. And then using that, shape out some petals. Depending on how that dries, I might add in a little bit extra in some places, but I'm not going to touch that for a little bit. So those are my daisies. I'm going to go back into these blue florals. I know that one is still wet. These look a little bit more dry. They're just starting points. Lisa, thank you. I'm not quite at the I'm loving this stage just yet. It's a slow process of building layers for me. I typically like to paint very fast and see results quickly. So this is already a slow process for me. I think I'm going to add in some more dark color to this one, and then possibly bounce back to the daisies. I think I might like this little bit of ink on top to really give it some definition. But I'll stick with it. Back to my daisies. A few petals are going to get some extra lines. I think at this point I'm going to add in a few stems, some leaves, and then go back and work on those blue-purple flowers. So I want to continue that blue theme and have some leaves that are on the bluer end. Thank you, hopeful optimist. Hoping it turns out beautiful. To me, it's not quite there yet. Okay. I want this one to face down, so I'm going to add this one in first. This one can be added next. I think I want to add some leaves down here and then work the stems around them. So working on these, I might lift some of that color. I don't want them too dark. Thanks. You got me thinking of daisies, Frankie. Thank you, Haley. Definitely want to add in more of this greenery. This is not Moonglow. This is a mix of a few colors. I've got Midnight. That's from Estelle Doom. She's paint maker in Greece. I've got some quinacridone Lake and Ultramarine Deep from My Merry Blue. And so I'm kind of mixing that all together. I do have one Daniel Smith color, Undersea Green, which I mixed with that whole mix for the leaves. But Moonglow is a delicious color. I've seen that before. I don't own it though. Thank you, Haley. More leaves now. And I think I'm going to try and lighten it up as we move to different parts of this painting. So here, actually like that. I'm not going to touch that one. I just love that ultramarine deep mixed with anything. It's a beautiful color. I think I don't know that I'm done with that one yet. I might want to add one more petal there. So I'll do a leaf here. You're finding it somewhat challenging to do leaves on both sides. Like how you're pulling your brush to make a leaf, because you can just turn the whole thing around and then do another leaf on the other side, if that makes it more comfortable for you. I think I'm going to add in a little leaf there. You can do it on the right. Yeah, I think that has to do with how you're pulling it. So spin your paper around, see if that helps. That looks really good there. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Well, mine are arcing in different directions here, and I don't mind it. Same here. I didn't notice that. They're sort of the inverse of each other. Now I can't stop looking at that. Thank you. Thinking about what else I want to add to this. I think those centers of the daisies could use a darker color, just to give it some depth there. So thinking about what I have in terms of colors in front of me. I have a brown that I might mix with that yellow. One on the bottom right is dreamy. Yet it is. Let me see. I think that was straw for my yellow. So I'm going to, add some dabs and dots. And put it in here as well. Just giving that some more dimension. think I'm done playing around with that one. Something is telling me to add something to this. Maybe I'm just going to go in with a leaf. I think I'm just going to do a leaf on that. And dragonfly. Ooh, that's a toughie. I have painted a detailed dragonfly before, and then I've painted a half dragonfly, half floral piece, so one floral wing. But I haven't painted a real loose one before. I think this one might be done. I do like this combination of almost white florals and dark blues. I think I'm going to do this combo again. So that's painting one. And then I'm going to do another little rose bouquet. Thank you. This one almost turned out to be poppy-like. I really like that. And then almost like a rose or some peony with many layers. I usually don't go for individual petals and planning things out like that. Thank you. Let me grab a card and I will do a little rose bouquet. I think I was painting with A6 before, but I have my 4 in front of me, so I'm just going to paint the 4. Same little red berry color. It's a pyrrole red, and then cream. Finally making a dent into this after a few years of using it. Oh, tell me about the trick. Now I gotta swipe so I don't miss it, so I can read your comments. Okay. Now I gotta swipe so I don't miss it, so I can read your comments. Okay. Roses are going to be the subject of next week's workshop. I know Kashmir wanted to join us today. We'll work on that tech so that she can join next week. Hope more of you will join. So this is a mini version of my rose. Ooh, pretty leaves and ferns to fill it in. Okay. I must see this trick. Did you happen to see all of the wreaths from Sweet Season Art? She's got so many good ones. I think of her as the wreath queen. Okay, thank you. The daisies, I have to take a look at them. I think it was this 4. Yeah, that looks right. Because all that I have out is my Neptune 8, which I used for these, and then the petals brush, which I used for my leaves. So it's the same one I'm using for my roses. That's probably a bit smaller than I normally paint them. But that paper is a smaller size pad, so I didn't want to go too big on them. Right? Yes. I love that too. And then it usually allows for color bleeds if I'm quick enough or if my paper's nice enough. So I can get a nice dreamy edge and then it seamlessly goes from one rose to the next. So I need another cream one here because again, I don't want to play tic-tac-toe and do 3 reds in a row. So I'll do another cream. By now you've seen me paint so many roses. You should probably see my recipe. Yay, you're back. I did already paint a bigger floral piece. So this is my second painting of the live. I'll show you what we did before this one. I think I'm going to sneak in the red one here. Just a small one. And then maybe one more here. It's a little bit too symmetrical, but that's what it's going to be for today. And then let me get my greens. The hollyhocks. Yes, I think I know where the hollyhocks are. Yes. I did a little reorganizing because I mailed out Ashley's peonies on the beach and the irises, so I had to move a few things around as I was packing that order. I have to have one here and maybe even one here. Yeah, I like that. Some stems. And then, of course, the red bow. Oh, my closed captions turn them into hollyhocks. That's the New Jersey accent, right? I wonder what it will spell if I say water. Bow time. You know, I actually was looking to see how to add closed captionings to my lives. I didn't know that they did them automatically, or if you choose like a default setting. I couldn't find a little setting for myself. Oh, thank you. Let's add a little curl to that. Let me see if I can grab those hawks. Found them. Your father's family's from Long Island. Dog and water, yes. I didn't think I had an accent at all, and then I started teaching out in Oregon, and those kids laughed every time I said water, which as a chemistry teacher, you say water a lot. So I think it just got thicker because I didn't hear it out there. I don't know. And thank you. I typically don't add that much level of detail to my paintings, but I just kept going and going with this one. So I'm very happy with that. And then I think I have one painting currently up on my Etsy account. I found all the paintings that are the same size. And so these are really easy for me to ship. So if there's something that catches your eye, it could be yours. I'm just going through a little of my different florals that I've done semi-recently. This one was made with watercolor inks, so very vivid colors. There's also some gold in there. These are supposed to be sort of abstract tulips. So some people love the vibrant colors, some people the more muted colors. I go through all different loves of colors. Yes, it was actually a sort of mistake, those big blooms, because I had some water already on the paper, and then when I did some splatter with the ink, it just bloomed outrageously, but in a very nice way. So this was sort of my splatter period here. I go through phases of ending a painting with it sometimes, or starting a painting with it, and then other times I just leave the florals alone. This one, I believe it was that petals brush that I used for that very thin line there. This is so far the only orchid painting that I've enjoyed painting. They are a little bit of my nemesis flower, but I think this was a filbert that I used, and that helped me figure out how to get those petals. I think the large oval wash brush would be good for a big orchid piece. These azaleas I took my time with. Don't normally spend so much time on a floral piece, but I waited patiently. This is a red called Cherry Pie, which is really pretty. Yes, the leaves, those leaves with movement. Yes. And then this is the one that Ashley loved. So I did 2 more that are like that. This is the one that I just listed on Etsy today. It's got a little bit of gold in it, and it's sort of a ranunculus here, a green center. I think it's a really nice shape if you want to have a small little message too, and then right on the back. I'm thinking a sort of trio like this is what I'm building towards for our workshops on Saturday mornings. So we've got some type of rose that I want to do, and then similar to the anemone, some simple 5-petaled flower, and then this one has almost like a lilac in there. So that's what I'm trying to bring us towards. This one where I used tape and then painted to continue onto the tape. Oh, good. I'm glad. That green is a super pretty green called Canopy Leaves from KMS. So it looks great, super saturated, that beautiful matte finish, which is a beautiful contrast to that gold. So this is a pretty one that I love. I'm going to have to do something. This almost looks like the anemone that we were working on, just doesn't have that second outer ring to it. I think this was the first or second time I used the petals brush, but actually tried to use it to make petals. And then this is where I figured out I liked painting leaves with that brush more than actual petals. Yes, Lavender by KMS, and then it's another one that was in a set with lavender. I don't remember. I think it's like passion fruit or something like that. So many of these I don't even remember, and they were all in the past 2 months. This was something that I got inspiration from our actual garden. Watercolor inks used for this one as well. That vivid color you can see. They're super fun when you want to paint something loose and quick. We've got 2, Xenos hair all over the place, 2 that are same watercolor inks, just different brush sizes. So first time kind of figuring out how to use them, and then I like the little dainty look of this one. Those little greens look really pretty. I love this chrome color from KMS. And then this soft lavender color. Tried to make some very loose violets. Really like how those leaves came out. They're really pretty. I don't use chrome enough. Thank you, This and That Creation. This one I painted here with you live semi-recently. Painted this one on Instagram live. Another one here, this is hot press paper. Looks a little bit different than the other ones. And then some very soft, yes, the sparkles. I do love my metallics. So these are all the ones that are able to be put on Etsy at a moment's notice. I'd love if I could sell out of these so I can put one up every day. This is, again, is sort of like an anemone, just with some extra gilded edges. All right, so we've got that. Looking at the one I painted earlier in this live, I think I'm happy with it now that I let it sit by itself for a few minutes. Very happy with the daisies and the depth of color here. So I'm going to leave this one alone. Add that to the pile for selling. So thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate all your comments and your likes. Tomorrow, actually, I won't be here live. I have some plans with a friend. It's Sunday, so I'll be back here on Monday. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, everyone. Thanks, Frankie. You too.